I remember acting like I was in school, and I had written all these scriptures out, and I put it in a clear page protector and taped it in my shower so that I could download God's word as I was doing everything. I had sticky notes all over the place because I was like, God, I know that you did not create me to hate myself, and I know better than this. And so I think it was in my early 20s where I really started digging to heal and digging to know this ain't it.
Who am I as the woman? I am radical, relentless, and real because I am on a mission to heal the souls of God's people. I am a spiritual leader, a life coach, and an author. But most of all, I am a warrior fighting for my legacy. I face so many challenges, shares of betrayal, rejection, abandonment, all that left me wounded mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Yes, life left me broke, busted, and disgusted. But despite all those odds, divorces, emotional damage, as well as despair, I did the work to heal my soul so that I may birth forth miracles and live prosperously. I am not new here. I grew here, and now is your time to grow. I am Dr. Dunamis Dee, and I am here to guide you on your journey of healing and transformation. Hey, you all, we are here for another season, you all, of the Healing for My Soul podcast. I'm telling you, we are on the move, we are on a roll, and it is getting better and better, gooder and gooder. But this particular season, I promise you, it's going to get deeper and it's going to get deeper. So what I want you to do is, first of all, engage with me. Hit that like button, comment, subscribe, do whatever you got to do. But most of all, you all, I want you all to tell somebody, come on through, because Pastor D is here for the Healing for My Soul podcast. And this whole season, we're going to go into the aspect of healing. And what we call here, particularly at Dunamis Woman, is we're going to heal our bra. We're going to go into the bosom. That means we're going to heal the betrayal. We're going to heal the rejection, and we're going to heal the abandonment. And I promise you, his miraculous healing power is real, because not only am I here alone, with myself, I'm here with another powerful woman who I deem as my spiritual daughter, and she is the evidence. She is the evidence of the healing power that can heal your heart from abandonment. That's what we're going to talk about. So I don't know about you. I have experienced abandonment on many levels. But Brittany Jones, how are you today?
I'm very well, thank you.
This is not about me. This is about you.
Okay.
Okay, you ready? You
Yes.
ready? And I promise you, you don't know how many people that we don't even know are experiencing the root of abandonment that's trying to keep them away from so many things that God has already ordained for their life. And so as you just speak, I want you to be a product and let people know that the healing power is real and that they really can experience healing from abandonment. And your roots really, really were deep.
They still are.
I was trying to be light of it, girl. No, but I believe they still are.
Yeah,
but at the end of the day, it had to go deep into your soul to begin to dig. And I am honored to have witnessed your growth, your maturation, and most of all, your willingness to be able to step out. So let's talk about that root of abandonment. Before you do that, how did you discover the fact that we were here in Healing for My Soul, Dunamis Woman?
Well, it started a few years ago when I was experiencing betrayal, actually, from my then husband. And I was just kind of going through the motions with life on autopilot, had a brand new baby, 2 other kids. And a coworker of mine was like, hey, you need to check out this challenge, this Healing for My Soul challenge. And I was like, I don't need no healing for my soul. And then like later on that night, I was like, yeah, let me take a look. And so I took a look and I was hooked. It really, that challenge spoke to everything that I was going through that I didn't even realize. Like I said, I was living my life on autopilot. So that challenge slowed me down to really think, wow, I do need healing.
You do need healing. And that was the Healing for My Soul challenge about how to snatch off our bra.
Yes.
Snatch off that betrayal.
Yeah.
Snatch off that rejection. Snatch off that abandonment.
Yeah.
Keep a living. Okay.
Yes.
Because I'm reminded of the women of old. When they come in that house, they snatch off that bra. But we are really going to do that on this particular episode.
Yes.
And I want to start backwards. I want to start with the abandonment with you. You came in because of betrayal, but then it ended up going to the rejection, and then it ended up going deeper into the abandonment. Ooh, why you looking like that?
As you're saying each word, I feel like I've lived 1,000 different lives for each and every one of those words. And going to the abandonment piece, just being adopted, I know that the enemy had it out for me while I was in my birth mother's womb. Like the way that my life, I feel, is set up, there couldn't be any other hatred I feel for myself than, or the enemy's hatred for me, rather, starting from the womb. And then, honestly, knowing what I know now about when you have a baby and you're supposed to do that skin-to-skin contact, you're supposed to have that bonding period, that bonding time, I didn't get that. The first 3-4 months of life, I was immediately taken to a foster home. And from what I understand biochemically, when babies don't get that skin-to-skin contact and that bonding time, it cries out like, what is happening? I'm not safe. I need something, you know. And so that goes into your cells, which goes into your bloodstreams, and, you know, cells replicate over and over. So it's just compounded trauma in my body, in my cells, that I know I continue to stay the course here. God is going to turn those cells around. God is going to do the healing. Deep, as you can say, deep down from the onslaught of where it came from.
Wow. Girl, you got me over here crying. Ooh, Jesus. That's deep, though.
Yeah.
That's deep. It only takes someone who've experienced the level of abandonment to do that type of research and to do that type of thinking, only for your healing to come.
Right.
And I want to add to that, and there's two things I want to bring out. One is you said the hatred for yourself. Because when you're experiencing any level of abandonment, it breeds about a self-hatred. So I want to go into that. But I want to hinge on what you was talking about, because I don't want anybody to think about that, oh, well, I haven't been adopted. You know what I'm saying? I have an abandonment. I want you to think about how the system, because what you're talking about is the old time way. You know what I'm saying? When we birth a child and they lay him on our chest, you know, and then the father is there wrapping his arms around us as a mother and the baby, and it's skin-to-skin contact. What happened to that? See, one of the diabolical schemes is that when the woman even birthed the baby, even if you're going to keep your child, what they do, snatch it away.
Take it away.
Take it away. Put it in some water. Go away. They don't never predominantly sometimes give it. They'll let you see it. Sometimes you'll hold it, but they'll take it away. And right then and there, this is why I hate the enemy, because he comes in with a spirit of abandonment.
Yes. Yeah.
And I'm a living witness, because I was privileged to be a midwife to a woman who was my dear friend, and she couldn't even conceive at one point, but that's a whole nother story. God did a miraculous thing in her body. And in her reproductive system, as he did mine. But I was able to serve as her midwife where she had it at home. And me and another friend, we was there when she was pushing, and what she did when that daughter came out, she put on the chest. Wasn't no time to clean. Wasn't no time to put no water on it. And the husband, who was a dear friend of mine, and they just sat there for hours.
Wow.
Holding that baby. That's emotional stability.
Yep.
That's emotional healing. And that's what you're saying. And I know that daughter to be so. I think she's about 30 now. You know what I'm saying? And it made a world of difference. So don't tell me that laying on your mama's chest and just holding them in the safety and the privacy of where you, and that's what you're saying. That's what you're saying.
That's what happened. That's what didn't happen.
That's what didn't happen.
Hey, Okay, so are you liking this episode? Matter of fact, are you loving this episode? If so, then we want you to tell us. I need you to like this episode right now. I need you to drop a comment and tell us what you are enjoying about this episode. But most importantly, I need you to subscribe to the YouTube channel, okay? Do not miss a beat of what's happening in the Healing for My Soul podcast. So you know what to do. Like so we know that you love it. Comment down below and tell us what you love about it. And then subscribe so you're never missing the episode that you truly cannot live without. Now, let's get back to your episode.
And I'll say I was born in August and I was adopted in December, December 23rd. And so that is when I would say when I got all my hugs at 4 months. And, but unfortunately the damage had already been done. And so nobody's fault. It's just, the enemies. But, it's like, okay, this is what happened. And now it's up to me to get the healing that I need because I will not keep living.
And and how old were you when you saw this Healing for My Soul challenge? Because a whole lot, I could honestly say that you were in denial. We think it's betrayal. Those things have an impact on us. The rejection goes with the betrayal. The abandonment goes with the rejection. The rejection goes with the betrayal. And this is how that bra gets so tight upon us. And the enemy hold us captive in areas of our heart, our mind, and our soul that we don't even. So you were how old when you saw that Healing for My Soul challenge?
38.
38. You look 15.
Thank you.
Don't let it go to your head.
Right.
No, but you're beautiful, honey.
You.
And it's an honor for me, from a spiritual mothering perspective, for God to send your steps this way, to go so deep in the root. I want to go to the fact of the self-hatred, because I saw it there.
Oh, yeah.
Because all those things we bring in self-infliction, things that we do, men, sex, screwing, searching for that root to be fulfilled.
Yeah. So I maybe middle school, high school was really the time where I felt, I can't even say that I termed that I hate myself, but I definitely was digging and looking and searching for acceptance, to be received. And man, if a guy rejected me in middle school and high school, I thought it was the end of the world. Like, why? I'm not cute enough. Am I not smart enough? This whole thing. And that just kept snowballing to being an adult and getting to my first marriage in my early 20s. And that one took me for a loop, because that was when I really said out loud that I hate myself. It was, I think, trying to be accepted by him, I would say. Trying to be so perfect as a wife, as a new mom, still as a daughter, just trying to, I think perfection, the spirit of perfection had really taken over. But I remember being depressed. That was when depression set in. I don't even like looking in the mirror. People would tell me, oh, you're so beautiful, you're so pretty. And I'd be like, where? I couldn't see it. It really took, at that time in my life, for me to go to, it was some kind of love, some kind of book, an author, she wrote a book about love. I don't know why I was there, because I clearly wasn't in love, but it wasn't until that moment where she was talking about the good things about marriage and relationships, and I was like, wow, I don't have that. Again, what is wrong with me? So I went to the Word, I highlighted scriptures, I wrote scriptures out that spoke to me that how I should not hate myself, how much God loves me. I remember acting like I was in school, and I had written all these scriptures out, and I put it in a clear page protector and taped it in my shower so that I could download God's Word as I was doing everything. I had sticky notes all over the place because I was like, God, I know that you did not create me to hate myself, and I know better than this. And so I think it was in my early 20s where I really started digging to heal and digging to know this ain't it.
You was in torment.
Oh, yeah.
That's a torment. That's a tormenting spirit. And we don't believe that so many of us, because we put on a mask. We put on our eyelashes.
Yeah.
We put on our lace fronts. We put on our makeup. We put on our clothes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we don't see that in our mind, in our heart, is a spirit of self-hatred that is tormenting you only because of that root of abandonment. Yeah. If you all can identify what I'm saying right now, you're in the privacy of your home. You may be in your bathroom. You may be in your car. I don't know where you are. But if you really, really want to get free, admit that that is a spirit of torment that's in your mind.
Yep. Yeah.
And we use scriptures to try to medicate and try to download to get the pain to go away.
Yep.
And this is why therapeutic processes are very, very important. So did it really work to the magnitude of what you needed it?
Well, it took me, but so far.
So far, yeah. Come on now, take you so far.
Yeah, it took me, but so far. And, you know, after I had gotten a divorce, just me and my child, I really dug into retreats and meditating and journaling and walking in the woods and just the whole wellness stuff I'm doing now still, to be honest. But that took me but so far as well. That took me to a point of, oh, I feel like I'm healed. I'm ready for another relationship. Ooh. Ooh.
I told you, slow your roll. Slow your roll.
That one, the second marriage, wow. That is what brought me to Dunamis Woman, where I felt like I was ready. I was, doing all the things, and it almost felt like a blind side. Like the enemy was like, you think you good. You're not.
See, but I look at it as a setup. Because, see, we go off on our own and thinking it's like, you could be on a physical bed in a hospital, you know what I'm saying? And you need physical healing. And I know so many people say, God, if you just heal me, I get up, I'm going to serve you for the rest of my life. Or you heal me, I'm going to do this. You heal me, I'm going to do that. And then we go off and do what we want.
Right,
That's the same way with emotional healing. Because we think that, okay, it's not the fact that nothing hasn't happened. I'm not negating that. It's not the fact, for all y'all who want to probably try to misconstrue that the scripture don't work. That's not what I'm saying. It's not the fact that your retreats are not vital.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is that when you got to get to the root.
Yeah.
And you going on and not even realizing it, because I'm sure when you got that first hug at 4 months, they didn't tell you was adopted.
Right.
You were thinking that was the truth of who you were and who you came through. Correct or incorrect?
Correct.
Hey, we know that you are doing some amazing processes of healing, but we want to invite you to draw closer into our Dunamis Woman University. That is the place to be, to really dig deeper and to discover who you are as the woman and go through a journey of your healing. Ma, would you have something to speak about, DW?
You know what? The healing power of God is all at work in Dunamis Woman University. That's where you do the work. That's why we call it a university, because we can talk all day long. We can tell about this, tell about that. But now it's time for you to do the work. Dunamis Woman University is there to take you to another level, but most of all, for God to go deeper within your heart, your mind, and your soul.
Yes, so the doors are open. Just go to www.dunamiswomanuniversity.com and enroll today and start the transformation that you need.
I think when I was 5 years old is when they told me. And then that just, the story kept getting longer and longer as I got older and older of how I came to be. But
that didn't heal the abandonment.
Right, no.
It didn't heal the abandonment. If anything, it sparked more.
Oh, yeah.
It brought in more. It brought in more. But what I am saying is that all of it is a setup to get you to the face of where, God, I really need your healing power. I need you to go into the depths of my soul. That means your mind, your emotions. Does that make sense?
Yes.
That you may understand not just the will of who you are to the Father, but how to do the will of who he made you to be.
Absolutely.
What has changed since you have experienced his healing? It's always more. It's always more.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you right now, I am so darn proud of you.
Thank you.
Because I know it wasn't easy. At this young, tender age. Many women are in denial. Your kids are still young. What has changed thus far?
Well, what has changed since I've been a Dunamis Woman?
And you stand on this path.
Ooh, well, when I first came in, I was definitely in denial. But like I said, I knew, okay, I can't be in denial anymore. But I feel like once my children, I saw how the enemy was coming after them. That really gave me a dig and a desire to heal. And my personality type is it's twofold. It's a free spirit and it's a type A. And when it comes to healing, it's a type A. Like, we're going to get this and we're going to get it now. Even though I have setbacks and, as you can say, doing my own thing sometimes. But what has changed, I'd say, would be my fire for God, my fire for healing. Man, I tell you, I remember moving away from my ex-husband and getting an apartment down the street. And I've created, it's probably 100-page PowerPoint of our lessons. After class, I would dial it back and do my own journaling, just really processing it. Yeah, buying the books, the ebooks, and how to pray with power and purpose. Like, everything that you had that I could, pay
Put
for.
your hand on.
Yeah. I was going to do it. I was going to read it. I was going to highlight it. I was just like that same spirit of when I was in my 20s and felt that self-hatred. I was like, we can't do this. We're not doing this. God didn't put me here to suffer and to be in pain and have my children going through all kinds of stuff, because I'm going through all kinds of stuff.
Yes.
Man, I did a whole lot of pacing the floor, and Ariel gave me the advice in the Hour of Power of putting on my son's clothes when he wasn't there, and ministering and praying over. Just so many things just over the past couple of years was like, I guess maybe spiritual warfare, and really knowing and learning from you how to take all of my hits and all of my stripes and throwing them at the enemy, and just knowing that I'm going to get up and I'm going to be okay. I have work to do for the kingdom. I don't have time to be sitting around here crying and crying and hollering and, well, he did this and he did that. Okay, well, what's next?
And breaking up the stuff in your mind. Because really what abandonment really is rejection, but it also is preservation.
Yeah.
I commend your birth mother. She didn't do it to hurt you.
Right.
She really did it to preserve you. Because if I knew that I could not care the way that Allison and Ariel needed it, don't mean I'm perfect. I got my mess too. But if I knew that I was in a space that I couldn't give them what they wanted, instead of hurt them, I have to let them go.
Yeah.
It's even with a relationship. If I hurt you, if I got to hurt you, I got to let you go to love you.
Right.
So we look at those things, and this is what the enemy plays on our mind. He play on your mind. He play on my mind. He play on your mind. He play on everybody's mind. They just ain't willing to talk about it. And when you don't get it out, it's steady go on. And then even when you showed up at the classes and stuff, you got to break it up. You got to break it up. You got to break up those thoughts. I'm reminded of one of Tyler Perry's movies, of The Family That Prays. And when the mother told her son, she said, it's the private thoughts that give me pause. See, it's them private thoughts. You could read a book all day long, but at the end of the day, until you can talk to that author sometime, you got to dig deep in it, or somebody take that book and cause you to dig deeper into it.
Yeah.
Because just because you digest it and you read it and you comprehend it don't mean you did the work.
Right. That's right.
It don't mean you did the work. And sometimes when I would hear you, I had to love you enough as a mother to say, let me get in your tail right now.
Yep. You did.
I did. Because I know what it will do. I know what it has done. I know what it wants to continue to do, because it's a deep, deep root. And you got to put the axe at the root. Yeah. And that's what I was doing spiritually, is putting the axe at the root, because you're greater. You're beautiful. You're better. And you just don't want anything and anybody to just come and use you for what they want you for. Does that make sense?
It does.
Let me tell you something. And I'm going to tell this to you, and I'm going to tell it to you, and I might say it again and again. If you don't teach people who you really are, they will tell you what to be.
That's deep.
I could teach a subject matter. I could teach you math. I could teach you psychology. I could teach you whatever you want to know that's already in that book. But until I teach you about me, you'll never know. Because I'm not a math formula. You're not a math formula.
Right.
You're not just an art for somebody to figure you out. Does that make sense?
Right.
You're not just a tool to be tossed to and fro. You're nobody's hammer. You're nobody's axe. And that's what abandonment will do, which causes that hatred for self. But there's a love for self that you are now acquiring. Tell me about it.
Yeah.
Tell us about it. Ha! Yeah.
So I am on this self-love. I call it journey of self-love and self-care. I put myself on a 30-day self-care challenge for this month of November to really take the time, a few minutes a day, to do what I need to do. This morning, I took 10 minutes to read. And with that reading, I felt compelled to do a 5-minute journal. And after, it's just like the revelations come, as I'm making myself do these things and really pouring back into me. After feeling like things have been snatched and I just gave stuff away.
Yeah.
It's time for me. It's time for me to love myself, because if I don't, like you said, people will use me like a tool. And I won't say rightfully so, but I mean, if I don't stand up for myself and teach people how to treat me or how to love me or how to talk to me, how to respect me, then I am just being a tool. That's not what I want for myself.
Hey, you all, you are here and you have been watching this podcast, and not only are you on a journey for your healing, but let me let you know, you have started a movement in your life because you joined me on this Healing for My Soul movement. So guess what I want you to do? I want you to stay connected. I want you to be a part of our Healing for My Soul movement. Join the Facebook group right there. I know you on Facebook. So go in there, join that private group. We have more discussions about healing. We recap these episodes. You're going to hear the heart of other women just like you who's saying, I am on this journey and I am on a move and I cannot turn back. I look to see you there. Hey, I'm Pastor Dee. And that teaching is not arduous. That teaching is just being. See, you don't have to say, oh, you love me this way or love me that way. That ain't what I'm talking about. That's still a damaged soul. But when I stand up in the beauty of who I am, and when I let his power exude from me, because that's who I am, people will learn of me. Does that make sense?
It does.
They will inquire of me. You don't have to go and pursue a man. Seek him out. Use him to fulfill that void. He pursues you. He desires you. He requires you.
And unfortunately, in this day and time, people tell stories, Mama Dee.
Well, you know what? Everybody gonna tell what they want. But it don't matter. Because when I know who I am, I don't buy into every story. Does that make sense?
That makes a lot of sense.
Everybody got a right to tell whatever they want, love. Healing brings such a security and a safety, not in nobody else, but in myself. Though they may slay me, yet I will be confident.
And I'm learning that. I'm learning that. Just going through, like, wrapping up the second divorce, and honestly, I'm good on relationships right now. I'm just cultivating the relationship with myself, and continuously cultivating the relationship with God. But learning, like what you just said, I don't have to tell anybody how to treat me. Just be. That's where I am right now. I'm learning how to be.
How to be. When you have been, we all have been abandoned. I grew up with my mother. I felt so much abandoned because my father wasn't there. It was just what I just said. It was a feeling. Does that make sense? It was a feeling. The enemy plays on our feelings. But at the end of the day, I still was abandoned by her. Not because she wasn't physically present, not because she didn't work to take care of me, not because she didn't give me the best that she could for where she was. But the fact is that did you really take time to seek out who you birthed? Who you was caring for? Now, I ain't mad because I had to find out for me. Does that make sense? It catapulted me into the place in God that nobody could never take me there. Nobody could never teach me there. Does that make sense?
It does.
So it all worked together for our good. So I'm saying whether somebody was present, whether they wasn't, whether they were adopted you, whether they took you up, we all deal with some root of abandonment. And that's why we're here. Because it's not that the fact nobody don't love you, it's the fact that they got to accept you. And before anybody accepts you, you got to accept who God made you to be. And I got to find that out. That's my relationship with Christ. Because I am accepted of the beloved. I don't want everybody to want me. Well, come on now. I don't want everybody or anybody to just touch me.
Right.
Because I can bring more danger knowing who I am than what you can do to me. That's a place of maturity, Brittany, that you're growing into. And you have to take that with grace. You have to take that with humility. And you don't flaunt that. You just be that. You understand what I'm saying?
I do.
How many children you have?
3 sons.
3 sons. And you're not just raising sons, you're raising them to be men.
Yes.
That they will attract a whole woman like their mama. Not a broken woman.
Right.
Not a crazy woman.
Right.
Not a witchy woman. But a whole woman.
Yes.
Because sons attract what's ever in their mama who is a woman. And we don't usually see our parents as man and woman.
Right.
Does that make sense?
It does.
So you are doing a great work, and I commend you. What's your next? Dunamis woman, you're here. You are drawing closer, and you're drawing closer to the point where I could damn near snatch your edges out now.
Snatch them. Please.
What's your next for where you see yourself before we go? And then I want you to speak into that camera, and I want you to speak to somebody like you, what they got to do.
My next would, of course, inner circle is always the goal. It's always the goal. But just continuing to not let my fire go out, continuing to dig, continue to research, and not get distracted by so many things I can easily get distracted by. And so as far as what to tell anybody who may be going through abandonment, if you feel like you are not going through abandonment, you're in denial, take the rose-colored glasses off, please. Do yourself the favor, do your legacies a favor, and get real, honestly, with yourself. And to me, that is the first step, because you can't take any other steps after that until you acknowledge that you've been abandoned, you've been let down by someone, and Mama D is right here to pick you up. But honestly, cultivating your relationship with God and really being serious about the situation that you're in. If you're in a toxic environment, you're in a toxic situation, don't be afraid to go. Don't be afraid to go. And I would say don't be afraid to stay, but hey, I don't know who might be watching this. If you feel like you need to get help, get the help before it's too late.
Yeah. Well, we are here, you all. This Healing for My Soul podcast is not by happenstance. It is very, very intentional. And everything that we're going to talk about in this particular season is to bring healing to your soul. But I'm here to let you know that the spirit of abandonment, the healing that is needed from all of us from abandonment is real. I can't even tell you the torment that it brings, but I can't describe it to you because it happened to me. But I also am a testament that healing is real in the areas of abandonment. Do not fall into the snare and the trap that the enemy has laid privately for you. Get what you need. Go, subscribe, healingformysoulpodcast.com. Visit it. We would love to see you, and we would love to connect with you. I am Pastor D, and I'll see you on the next episode.